So here we are, unboxing the Champion 3400 generator. Gonna unbox this new Champion 3400 watt dual fuel generator. It's an inverter generator, runs on gasoline or propane, has a lot of nice features. It's RV ready, has a 30 amp outlet, has two 120 volt outlets, has a 12 volt DC outlet, has eco mode so it could idle when there's not a heavy load on it, and it could be used with a parallel kit if you want to hook up another generator. So let's unbox this bad boy and see what's in the box. Alright, let's get these straps off. Okay, we got the user manual, funnel for the oil, 12 volt cigarette lighter plug with two USBs in it, a 2.1 amp and a 1 amp USB connector. Got the propane regulator and the hose to hook up the propane tank. This unit here is a storage propane hose storage unit that clips onto the handle of the generator. So if you leave it on, you can store the hose up out of the way. And we have the generator. Supposed to be 100-something pounds. Yeah. One guy can handle this, I guess. There's a handle. You can roll it right out. Really easy to move around with the handle and the wheels. Okay, the reason I got this, I have a 5,500 watt generator for the house and emergency use, but it is so darn loud and it doesn't have eco mode. This has eco mode, which lets it run quieter, and it's also quieter to begin with. Also, the 3400, 3100 should be able to power my RV air conditioner. I did order a hard start capacitor for the air conditioner, which I'll be installing in a couple days here. And from all the reviews I've read, this unit should be able to handle it with flying colors. So what we have here, here's the selection for the propane and gas. There's the choke, the electric start. There's a battery in here that I'm gonna have to take out and hook up and connect and possibly charge it. There might be enough charge, but if you run the generator for a while, it'll charge the battery up also. 30 amp RV outlet, which is very nice, right off the inverter. Here we have some breakers, a 30 amp breaker, 20 amp breaker. This is on and off. Two 120 volt outlets. Down here we have the parallel connectors if you want to run a parallel generator. Here's the 12 volt cigarette lighter plug. Another circuit breaker here. And that about does it. Also has a pull start if you don't want to use the electric. So what we got to do now, we got to put some tin, or actually some, 30 weight, basic 30 weight oil in here to get this thing started There's a break-in time of 5 hours. Once 5 hours is up, you have to drain the oil and put new oil in. I believe it's 30 weight, but I'll take a look. It could be 10W30. So let's get it going. Yes, it's 10W30 oil. So it's about, I think it takes 0.6 quarts, 6/10 of a quart. But now we're going to get this battery out, and it's under this panel right here. Panel comes right off. The battery's in here. I actually have it clipped in. We need to get some cutters to cut off the tie wrap. The battery should come right out. Well, I didn't really get that tight. Negative wire, positive wire, battery. So the rubber protectors off of the terminals. Have a couple lugs here. Could go side mount or top mount. I think I'm going to actually go top mount with these. So I'm going to turn around the little nut that's in the middle of the battery terminal. Okay, we'll get that seated in there. Make sure these are on nice and snug. Don't want any short circuits. There we go. And then we're going to hook the rubber holder back up. And the battery is in. Put this back on. Anytime I'm screwing something together, I like to screw it loosely at first before I tighten them up. Make sure I get all the screws in the right place. Then I go around again and snug all the screws up after they're all in place. There, that's ready to go. Let's access the oil fill. Take this panel off. Insulation, quiet it down a little. Yeah, this whole thing has insulation all around the inside to quiet down the running of it. Here we go, oil fill. Supplied funnel. They even have a nice little lip here. If you drip any oil out, it runs down here, and goes off the edge. So let's start with about half a quart here. I'm already making a mess. Here she be. Let's get this cleaned up, put back together. Actually, let's turn this around. So let's hook up the propane. Here's the regulator that comes with the generator. Protective cap on the end here. So put the regulator on the tank. Plug the end of the hose in through the unit right here. Okay, keep this away from the exhaust. Turn the propane on. Pull the choke out. Electric start. Goes. Keep going. So there you have it. It starts right up, right out of the box. Let's get the battery hooked up, put some oil in, hook up the fuel source, and it's good to go. Next. Propane off. Since this has to run 5 hours for break-in, I got an hour meter. This wraps around, the wire wraps around the spark plug about 5 turns, and we're going to measure 5 hours of runtime to break it in before we change the oil. This is a Racing Power Sports hour meter for marine, ATV, motorcycle, snowmobile. Costs about $5 on Amazon. They have other ones for around $10. Good investment to measure how many hours are on your engine. So basically, this unit that does the hour meter, you have to wrap this around the spark plug wire 5 times, tie it with a zip tie, and then the other end of the wire plugs into the hour meter. We're going to start this up again. Let it roll. See if that hour meter is working properly. Got the propane hooked up. Propane is on. Choke is out. There she loads. So the generator is fairly quiet, but I just temporarily have that wire coming out right there from the spark plug temporarily. The meter is right here. It's flashing, so I'm hoping that means it's picking up the current. We'll see in a few minutes here. It's a nice quiet unit. I really love that it runs on propane. When you're out RVing, use propane extensively for your stove, your fridge, your hot water. So this is a plus in my book, that you can run this generator on propane. And the other plus, it has the 30 amp outlet just for RVs. It should fit perfectly with this RV that I have. It's going to be used in this Rockwood ultralight travel trailer. It's a 2604 WS. I've been having this for about 8 months now. Took it out a couple times already. So I plan on hopefully running the AC on this generator when we're out boondocking. And I'll keep you posted. We'll see how it works out. I'm going to let it break in now for 5 hours. You can see the hour meter shows 0.1, so it's picking up off the spark plug well. All we have to do now is find a place to mount it. It has a couple of screw holes, came with a couple screws. I might drill a small hole in the top or side of here to mount the wire. Then maybe just zip tie that bad boy up here to the handle. Or I might use some command strips. Velcro always helps, right? We'll figure it out. So now I've plugged the RV in. It's on eco mode, nice slow idle, running on propane. But overall, we're just letting it break in now for 5 hours. Then I'll change the oil, put some good 10W30 oil in there, and we'll be ready to go. So our generator is broken in, went a little over. We hit 5.4 hours on the initial oil. Now we're going to drain the oil and refill with fresh oil. So to drain the oil, I decided to elevate the generator so we could get to the oil drain and let it go into a pan. You can see this tube right here. It goes down into the crankcase. Basically, to drain oil, you just lower that rubber tube down, let it go over the edge, and the oil will drain right out. So let's see what we could do here. There's basically a clip on here. Try to find both sides of it. Here we go, it's right in front. Take the clip off, pull the hose, let it go over the edge, and here comes the oil. I'll loosen up the dipstick, give it some air. So basically, we're going to let this come out a little over half a quart of oil for the break-in period. Once it's drained, we'll add fresh oil. So my solution for the hour meter wire is to Dremel. I'm going to Dremel a groove right here in the corner. Let the wire run through. And then attach it to the generator on the outside so we can monitor the hours. So the oil is done draining. I pulled the engine starter cable a couple times, starter rope, just to turn the crank to flush out a little more oil. So now, put this back in the storage spot here. Clip it up just to keep it in place. And it's time to add new fresh oil. So here I've wired up the hour meter. Dremeled a nice little slot here in the cover. Wire comes right out. I'll probably mount the hour meter. I'll probably mount it right here on top, so there's no extrusions out of the side. Don't want that sticking out the side of the unit. Maybe get bumped and come off, or pull the wire out or whatever. So I opted to go with command strips for this mount. I have a command strip on the back of the hour meter and one right there next to the handle. So we'll mount that, run the wire, and it should be good to go. So wrapping up, we got the generator going, hooked up the battery, ran the first oil for 5 hours, a little over 5 hours, drained it, put fresh oil in, mounted the hour meter on the spark plug wire Opted to come out the side right here, mounted the hour meter with command strips Velcro right on the top of the unit. So that's counting down the hours that the generator uses. And overall, we're ready for spring, ready to go camping. Next project is putting the hard start capacitor on the AC unit. And then this spring we'll test this thing out with the generator and the AC to see how it's going to work. Have a great day.